let's quickly use this as part 3. This is good. I think this is Rwanda broker. Okay, uh, FX broker. All right, that's what is here. So let's go ahead and use this as part 3, right? Or rather part 6, part 7. Generally talking about I'm just trying to zoom in. Talking about our general this thing, um, uh, this confluence. We'll take this as part. I think we're going to just redo then part 6. Okay, part 4, part 5, part 6, and part 7. All right, so that it will be. I think it's clearer that way. So let's now pick our points. All right, let's pick our points. It is good. I just saw this and I feel like let's use it. Let's use it like right now. So now talking about trend line. All right, this trend line, this is all-time high zone. Okay, so if I take it as all-time high zone, all right, if I take the first two parts, all-time high zone, I won't be looking for much here right now because as you can see, this is down. The 4-hour time frame, of course. So the trend is down, and we can see what the market is doing. So we are not expecting anything big here to use it right now. But when market returns, this trend line is going to function as depending on how long we're able to stretch. If market comes and break above, retest this trend line after break out and retest and give us entry trigger for an up. So it means that we'll be expecting a new all-time high. That is the simple truth. We'll be expecting a new all-time high if that happens. All right, that's the first trend line I'll be drawing. All right, so let's go. What will be my second trend line? My second trend line. Okay, I want to pick this point, and this point, this point and this point. They are far enough. All right, because this occurred and this occurred. Right. Why will I not be picking this point and this point? They will be sloping dangerously, badly dangerously. The slope, it's not. Remember, we are looking at something that will give us like 45-degree angle of 45-degree kind of. All right. And if you look at this, you see the sloping looks more 45-degree. Of course, this one wouldn't be looking 45-degree. Let's just try it out. 45-degree? No, this wouldn't be looking 45-degree. So it's just about the eyes anyway. All right, the eyes anyway. Picking that. Breakout and retest is going to deceive you. You see, you didn't go much after breakout and retest, and it's coming down. By now, you would have taken your TP out since 100 years ago. All right. So, but this is still not that good. So I'd rather take this point. That's after here. So I'll be connecting these 2 points. For me, this is the point that will make more sense. But that's not what I want to draw. I just check that the point I want to connect does not make sense, really. This point will be fine, collecting those 2 points. It will stand better in 45-degree, more close to 45-degree than. So it means that here, I think this we, okay, let me see. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to connect this top. That's where I'm connecting. I want to make sure that. So one I'm extending and connecting. The thing is not coming. I'll do it better. Start dropping it. All right, I think it's actually good. very good. Apart from that, we need to extend it. We can decide to extend it better. Make sure that it's touching. Yeah, it's touching. All right, guys. This is what I would prefer here as the trend line. All right. Of course, these things are far apart. This and this, they are far apart. But I try to connect um, this with this, and it's slanting badly for my eyes. I say when you have practice with the market enough, you begin to recognize trend line that makes sense and the one that doesn't make sense. It's all about practice. There is no magic. There is no recognition magic here. It's about the pattern that forms and your brain sends you the message, no, this is right. Meanwhile, your fishing can be helpful, but we not to. Okay, so we have done this. I told you the first one, this one. Okay, let me change the color to maybe, is that purple? Let me change, okay, to red. Let me change that to red, okay, or whatever color that is. Make it be. Let me change this, the middle one to green, into green, and leave the other one. So I try to look, I connect this point and this point. All right, I connect this point and this point, and the rest is the case. You can see maybe a whole lot of breakouts and one thing that is happening within that zone. In fact, these two can also form a zone. These two can also form a zone. That's not exactly a channel because we draw them. It's almost is a zone, not a channel. That this is forming. But let's see if we could have been able to have a help. Remember, we only collect this point and this point. So if we connect it, we'll begin to look at the support and resistance after we connected them. Now, talking about here, let's just talk about where they are. Okay, let's look at this point. See, you see this point, this support zone. What did he give you? Remember, okay, no, this is where we hit here after connecting the line. Okay, so that will not be too much relevant to us because there will be nothing we be able to do to really do here. All right. So, but after that, let's just try to fish, to go into fishing. All right. To fish, we take here. I think we just take these two trend line together. For this one, there is nothing we can expect for now. So of course, this is our fishing. Fish didn't catch. So we take here. All right, our fish here would have caught, had it been already collected our trend line before now, would have caught this point. All right, is that not so? We have caught our fish here, but that did not happen. So this is the next point, fishing point. We are making, okay, we get it, that's within this point, within here, because this market came here even before this will begin to happen. All right, this is our next fishing point. That deal would have been fine, but actually went overboard. All right, which means we could have been probably not too sure. Okay, let's see. This is another point. This point of pause. Okay, we take it. He actually gave us it actually gave us a zone. Actually gave us a zone. All right, within here, that's a very nice zone that we've got here. All right, that's a very nice zone that we actually got here. Now, the zone, this our second trend line. Let's assume that we didn't trust the first trend line for what we have seen, although should have been able, because this zone here, all we need to do is to look for a reversal pattern. Let's see, within that zone. Once it's in that zone, we're looking for a very convincing reversal pattern. And if we get anything like that, I think we got a lot of convincing pattern here. I have some convincing pattern here, but there's going to be a very serious problem here. This can go, this could have gone, but it remains where we put our stop loss. All right, it remains where we put our stop loss. Except a situation when we added this place as part of the zone. All right, this would have been very, very good if we added this as part of the zone. But if we didn't do that, it means that it's only the second trend line that would have worked for us, worked the stuff for us. The second trend line would have been the one that was, but the second trend line was in not a point where, let's check it properly, because the interpretation will help you with what you do later on. The second trend line was that not the second point of contact? I think that was that is actually the second point of contact. So the second trend line, oh, our second trend line is not okay. Oh. We didn't touch, we didn't have touch, man. Now that we have touch. That's the second point of contact. It wouldn't have been useful for us. Okay. We wouldn't been able to use it to make decision, to take decision here. So we are only left with the first trend line, and what we just use here is the combination of support and resistance. This resistance, this one, this horizontal and this horizontal together with the trend line, that would have helped us because we have a confluence of three of them here, and we can even have more. We can even have more if we take, for instance, look at if we take, for instance, here, let's say this one, this point, or this point, or this point, this point would have been fine. This point, I think this first point, drawing this point would have been fine. Taking it from here. I did not carry anything, oh, guys. All right, so this point would have been a very great fishing point. Cut across, cut across, cut across, cut across. This one, only fishing could have helped here, guys. That is simple truth. So, but all the combination of the confluence here could have actually helped in taking. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 confluence. All right, that could help. I think this is fine because, guys, it's important to look at all the things that could have happened. All right, that should happen. All right, in the point where we are taking our trade, the things we need to consider before taking it. Enough confluence would have been helpful. All right, we are still fishing, guys. Let's take this point, this point now. Let's take this point here. All right, because we're marking it after we have established our trend line. This point here. All right, that point would have been helpful for us here, only here. Here, especially with the second trend line. Remember the second trend line, this is the second touch of it. So we could have used it to catch this trade. All right, to catch this one, look at this confluence here, this confluence here. All right. Then we also have confluence here for this trade, confluence here. But here is a key one here for us. Okay. So after taking this, what another one we need to take? This one is already here. Then we are looking at this point, at this point, these 2 points. Okay. Remember, the one you are not sure, you leave it. That's why you have to keep practicing until you can master all that you need. So you can see after here, after this, hitting this here, this area of intersection of trend line and support and resistance here. So we can be having a retest, practically retest, and keep going down like that. Okay. So let's now pick this point. Which point you want to pick again? Let's pick let's pick this point. Okay, we can combine it with this point as well, with this point. All right, and combine those points, these 2 points, right? And combine it with those 2 points. Sorry, I want to delete this before. So we're combining them. What do we do? Pick our support and resistance to, taking those points. All right. So here again, we got a retest here. All right. These two places, we got a retest here. All right. We got a retest here. Okay. And let's see for here after this high, because I just want to, after this high here, we got this. After this high here, though we didn't get the proper retest, but you see it's going to be within the zone as usual. So what we have is candlestick pattern. And as well, guys, you also remember that even the trade last we'll be taking it from 1 minute time frame or 15-minute time frame. With additional confluence, it will be good enough to grab. All right, I just say let's take a look at this. So with this, you have different kind of examples on this. All right, I think we have worked. The markets are generally bearish these days, so we are not really seeing a, let's say, a bullish trend line. We are working more with bearish trend line, all the pairs we have looked at. So, but I'm sure that we will find the bullish trend line, also be able to use that. Guys, we are on tire. I will see you guys some other time. Una no vex. Okay, guys, I know that questions might come up. Of course, we will deal with the questions as they come, right? Just learn this thing, practice, 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 so that you'll be able to answer my questions. Remember, I'm going to give you work after this, spending enough time to deal with all this. I'm going to give you exercises that you are going to carry out. So, guys, please make sure you do justice. You can only do justice if you practice and work with this very well. All right. Go over and over again. And then the more you do this, the more it stick. All right. It will stick in your head. Let it be in your head.